after this beat.
Welcome to another episode of Gamecock Start with Captain Will. I am your boy. I'm your boy, Captain Will. Make sure you like, make sure you share, make sure you subscribe to Gamecocks Talk with Captain Will so I continue to bring you the gospel of Gamecocks every single day. I know I say that a lot. I know I open the show with that every day, every time I do a video, but I really would appreciate if you're watching your boy Captain Real right now, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. It really helps the show grow to the masses, and it helps spread the love of women's basketball everywhere, regardless if you support the Gamecocks or it's just everybody who's watching this love women's basketball. So if you are a Georgia fan, if you're an LSU fan, if you're a Tennessee fan, if you're a UConn fan, if you're an Iowa fan, if you are a homegrown South Carolina Gamecock fan, make sure you hit that subscribe button. We got a good one today, y'all. I said we got a good one today, y'all. We talking about Kamilla Cardoso. Kamilla Cardoso. What can Kamilla Cardoso do to improve on her upcoming season? What can Kamilla Cardoso do? Last year, Kamilla Cardoso averaged 10 points, 9 rebounds, 2 blocks a game. Okay? Kamilla Cardoso, coming off the bench, was the 6th woman of the year in the SEC. Played behind Aaliyah Boston. Played behind Victoria Saxton to some degree, even though Kamilla Cardoso had starters minutes. We all like to say that South Carolina, especially the national media, they all like to lament and say that South Carolina lost 5 starters. Well, that's not actually true. And the national media doesn't give South Carolina the credit that it deserves in reference to actually covering. That's why I'm here. That's why I'm your beat writer extraordinaire. That's why I'm your talking head. That's why I'm your megaphone. Raven Johnson and Kamilla Cardoso actually average more minutes than starters Kiara Fletcher and Victoria Saxton. That's a fact. So in actuality, we lost 3 starters. We lost 3 starters, not 5. But I digress. That's a whole nother conversation on a whole nother day. Kamilla Cardoso can improve her previous season, her junior season, by continuing to do what she did best last year. And doing what she did best last year, but adding a couple of nuances to her game. Kamilla Cardoso is 6'7", 6'8" tall. Okay? That's not going to change. Kamilla Cardoso is a beast in the paint. She blocks shots. She rebounds the basketball. She has long arms. She has long legs. She has a huge wingspan for our guards to get her the ball. More specifically, Raven Johnson. Okay? So with Kamilla Cardoso, it's not a matter of her improving per se. It's a matter of her being more aggressive, demanding the ball more, not just in the paint. But I would love to see Kamilla Cardoso step away from the rim 6 to 8 feet tall, 6 to 8 feet away from the basket, and get a little turnaround jumper. I hope I see that this upcoming season, because that's going to make her more of an unguardable player. That's going to make her more unique. Because right now, the plan for other teams are to put 2 and 3 players on Kamilla Cardoso. That's the plan for other teams. In women's basketball, there's no such thing as defensive 3 seconds. That's what was killing Aaliyah Boston for so long, because they would have multiple players in the paint. They ain't got to move anywhere, and they guarding Aaliyah Boston, and it made her tough. It was every time she got the ball, it was tough for her to score. So she had to kick it out. So at times the Gamecocks hit those points. There was at times that they would hit those open jumpers, but other times they would not. Okay? So with Kamilla Cardoso, and we know that the double team is going to come, and sometimes the triple team is going to come at Kamilla Cardoso. She is a good passer. So she's going to pass the ball out to an open T in a power. She's going to pass the ball out to open Tessa Johnson. She's going to pass the ball out to a Bree Hall, Raven Johnson, so they can hit those open jumpers. But I would love to see, as the defenses start respecting the Gamecocks wing players, respecting the perimeter players that the Gamecocks have now, I would love to see a turnaround jumper from Kamilla Cardoso. I would love to see her do an 8 to 10 foot jump shot. I would love that. That's how she could get her game to the next level. I expect Kamilla Cardoso getting more minutes than she had before. I expect her to average about 14 and probably about 14 and 14, about 3.5 blocks a game. Be a stalwart on the defensive end, become all SEC first time. Those are my expectations for Kamilla Cardoso for this upcoming year. Now she has the option of coming back and use that COVID year, but I expect Kamilla Cardoso to move on to the WNBA draft. But while she's here with the Gamecocks this season, I want the best out of her. I want to see that Cardoso who plays free, who has that joy in her face, but who also is that dog. I want to see that version of Kamilla Cardoso that I saw with Brazil as she got the MVP. I want to see that version of her. I want to see that. I want to see her use that leadership because Kamilla Cardoso is a grown ass woman. Kamilla Cardoso is 22 years old. She's 22. We need a leader on this team. We need an alpha on this team. Is Cardoso, is her mentality, is her personality, is that alpha dog for this team? I don't know. What I want for Kamilla Cardoso is the best player that she can be for the Gamecocks this upcoming season. I want her to continue the tradition of the bigs for South Carolina, with her being the catalyst for that. Her ceiling is so high. Her ceiling is so high this upcoming season. It's so high. She will be a go-to player for the first time in a Gamecock uniform. And you know what? You can foul her. She's gonna get fouled a lot. You can foul. But Cardoso can actually hit free throws. Cardoso can hit free throws. For a big, she can hit free throws. I want a dominant Kamilla Cardoso on the offensive and defensive end this upcoming season. That's what I want. That's what I need. That's what Gamecock fans need this upcoming season. We need Cardoso to be the best big in the SEC. And I know there are a lot of bigs in the SEC, but there ain't no big in the SEC quite like Kamilla Cardoso. There ain't none. None. So Cardoso, I want the best out of you. I want you to come in and put in that work. I want you to shine like only you can shine. Cardoso, bring it. What happens? What happens if Raven Johnson is injured in a basketball game this upcoming season? What happens? Let's address the point guard position in a whole. Let's address that. Raven Johnson is entrenched as a starting point guard for the South Carolina women's basketball team. She is a Gamecock for life. She is starting her red shirt sophomore year this upcoming season, which will be happening real soon. We are 40 days away from the start of the regular season. We are 40 days away, 40 days and 40 nights. Maybe not 40 nights anymore, but we're 40 days away from the upcoming season. But what happens if Raven gets injured? What happens if Raven twists her ankle or hurts her finger? Any of those things. Let's address the point guard situation with the South Carolina Gamecocks. Let's start with Tina Pow. You thought I was going to say somebody else, right? Thought I was going to say someone else. I'm going to start with Tina Pow because Tina Pow was a point guard. Let's say that. Tina Pow was a point guard in high school. She was a point guard in high school. 7th, 8th ranked recruit in her recruiting class. Was a point guard. She has no problem distributing the ball. We know she's a shooter extraordinaire. We know she can shoot lights out. We know she is going to be the sharp shooter for the South Carolina Gamecocks this upcoming season. But Tina Pow can also run the point. She has ran the point at Oregon. She can run the point guard position. She can run the point guard position, and she can run it well. Okay, she's 5'9", has good size, just like Raven. So she can run the point guard position. We want her to be that shooter, want to be the starting shooting guard. But there are going to be stretches when Raven sits and Tina slides over to the point guard position, especially when we play quality top teams. So you have just envision this: Raven slides over, Raven goes to the bench, Tina Pow slides over to the one. Bree Hall slides over to the 2. You have options. You can put Chloe Kitts at the 3, have Ashlyn Watkins, Sanaya Fagan, Kamilla Cardoso. So many different variations of this. Or you can have Tina Pow at the 1, have Tessa Johnson at the 2, keep Bree Hall at the 3. So many different options. So many different options. Now, going into the games, like when we play Notre Dame, on November the 6th. When Raven goes to the bench, when the starting lineup takes the floor, and I expect the starting lineup of Raven and Tahina and Bree Hall and Sanaya Fagan and Kamilla Cardoso, I expect that starting 5 to take the court. But when Raven sits, I want to see how the minutes are distributed, because I want to see if Don is going to keep will always have will always have Raven and or Tahina on the floor at the same time. I want to see if that happens, because if Raven sits and Tahina slides over to the 1 and Bree slides over to the 2, I want to see how that works. Not saying that it's going to happen, but I will say this. Raven's going to get 27, 28, 29 minutes a game. Tina Pow is going to get 27, 28, 29 minutes a game. It's a matter of how those minutes are distributed, because Bree Hall going to get the same amount of minutes, and Bree Hall and Tina Pow both can run the 2. Okay, so having Tahina play 10, 12 minutes at the point guard position is good for me, because one, you got a point guard who can handle the ball, but also can shoot that thing. Tina is a more of a shooting point guard than Raven is a pass first point guard. Tahina is more of a, and I want to say this right. I want to say this correctly. Tahina is more of an Allen Iverson type point guard. AI was one of my favorite players coming up. I can't say coming up because we're damn near the same age. And Raven is more of a Jason Kidd point guard. Both dynamic. Both will fill the box score, so to speak. But what happens in that first few games? The first few games, and I'm talking about with Notre Dame and talking about with Maryland, how these rosters are tweaked, how these combinations, how Don starts working combinations to see who fits better. It's going to be interesting to say. Interesting to see how this thing works out. But waiting on the sideline, can't wait to get in, is Malaysia Fulwiley. Malaysia Fulwiley is the point guard of the future. She's the point guard of the future, and she's going to be unbelievable. And I expect Malaysia to get 15, 17 minutes a game as well at the point guard position. But I also expect all 5'6" of Malaysia Fulwiley to play some off guard as well. Because if you have a offense of Raven Johnson at point, and you have an offense where Malaysia is playing off guard, and you have Ashlyn Watkins filling the lane, you better get your popcorn ready. Because that's going to be something special is about to happen. Something special is about to happen from somebody. But if something was to happen to Raven, whatever injury, whatever, I expect that. My expectation early in the year is for Tahina to actually slide over. Because even though I love Malaysia, I don't want the star freshman having that pressure, especially in the early games of running this basketball team. I don't want that. I want that veteran presence of a senior who's done it before to slide over and figure it out. That's what I want. I don't want that pressure of Malaysia having to play Notre Dame and get 20, 25 minutes. I don't want that pressure at the point guard position, leading this team. I don't want that pressure of doing the same thing as Maryland. Because those two teams are going to be out for blood. Blood. So I want, if something to happen at the point guard position, if Raven was to go down, I want Tahina Pow sliding over to the 1 and being great. That's what I want. I want Malaysia to continue to grow, be that backup point, be that backup 2, mature, middle of the season, late in the season, let her do her thing. But early on in the season, my expectation would be for Tahina to slide over to the 1, get those minutes at the 1, Bree slide over to the 2, and possibly have Chloe playing some combination in the 3. That's what I foresee. If something was to happen with Raven and she was to go down early with an injury or something of that nature. That's my expectation. This concludes another episode of Gamecocks Talk with Captain Will. I'm your boy, Captain Will. Make sure you like, make sure you share, make sure you subscribe to Gamecocks Talk with Captain Will. You are now rocking with the best. And since you're rocking with the best, come rock with your boy, Captain Will. Let's go.
J-Rock did this